Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Steven, M Target. We're here, and TI-8 is 100% done now. Say something so they can see you.
Sorry. Yes, 100% done.
Yeah, 100% done. We've got all the Valve has completely finished filling in all the predictions and all the brackets and all that kind of stuff, so we can actually let you know how we actually did, because we did all of our prediction videos, we did our fantasy tips, we did our bracket, we did all that kind of shit, and it'd be disingenuous if we didn't actually show you how we did, so you can decide whether or not you want to continue subscribing to us. And yeah, I think we did well.
I actually haven't checked. And right now my Dota is apparently patching, so.
Okay.
I know that I kind of know how I did, but one, you're the one that people you're the one that committed a little, because I tweaked some stuff and we were open about that.
Yeah, I guess you were you did your shit. I actually my name was on it also.
Yeah, I mean I agree to some of the stuff, but yeah.
So I'm gonna share my screen and then lock in. Okay, you can see this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start with fantasy. You might notice a big empty space here, and that's because I discovered a fun bug. And you're gonna see a couple of these. Basically, what happens is if you play a card and then you delete it, the card no longer appears on your thing, but you still get credit for the points you got. So I think I played a GH, or I played somebody, maybe a Kuroki. I think a GH here, and then what happened was it was a common, and then when I did a dust duplicate commons, that got rid of it. So that's why there's an empty space here. But did generally well in the group stages. I didn't hit a lot of home runs, which is kind of disappointing. But ultimately, as you can see, I finished pretty darn well. 93rd percentile. Not great, but better than 93.1% in Dota 2. So I'll take that.
I say better than me, but I also forgot to play 90% of the days.
Yeah, and I also topped my friends list despite playing a bunch of commons like this KP right here. So group stages, and again, I generally followed my original video that I put out, which on who to pick for each day of the group stages. I did make a couple tweaks as it went on, because the different teams panned out well, different teams panned out not so well. So I did adjust, but generally you can, I still followed that same format. And also I dusted more cards as the time went on, as I got more, as I leveled up my battle pass more, as teams got eliminated, I dusted shit and I got better cards, as you'll see. So my worst day was day 4 of the group stages, and I played freaking. I bought into Team Serenity at the worst possible time. This ended up costing me 50 points, as you can see, because my CCNC and my Absor. Everybody did well this day except for ZYD here. But then the important thing is the main event, and this was easily my worst day, the first day, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I doubled up on Optic Gaming players when they were going up against Team Liquid, and as you may or may not remember, they got bodied by Team Liquid. So this right here bit me in the ass.
Yeah.
So
I think that was one of the days that I remember to play, and I think I played an Optic card too.
Yeah, the logic was sound, but man, oh man, did Optic get bodied there, which was not unforeseeable. But I wouldn't necessarily have. I didn't necessarily discourage you from playing Optic Gaming cards, but I definitely wouldn't have recommended playing 2 of them as I did. Day 2, I righted that ship though. As you can see, much better. I doubled up on, and you saw what I was playing since I started doing day-by-day videos for the actual main event. And this was probably my best day overall. I went Optic Gaming here, Virtus Pro, EG. Those are all pretty good teams, and Optic Gaming had a favorable matchup. I think against Team Serenity that day.
That sounds right.
So that panned out well for me. Day 3, I still went heavy on EG, and just in general, I mean, EG was very good for fantasy purposes, especially Sumail, who just generally rocked out. Good day here. And then from here is when you start having to pick based on which teams you think are going to win. And in particular, Virtus Pro, this day ended up really rocketing me up the rankings a bit. I actually, after the group stages, was very close to the top 100, I think. Like there was a couple of points where I was close to the top 100, but was like 20 points out, and I was like, that ZYD card. That ZYD card messed me up. But I made the right pick here with the 5 Virtus Pro players, paid off. Same thing here with 5 Team Liquid players, worked out well. Then the finals day, I went with all of EG, didn't pan out so well. You know that, yeah. Basically the options were to pick the highest floor was picking all of OG, since you'd get 3 games out of them, or you could be bold like I was and pick 5 from either PSG, LGD, or EG, depending on how you thought it was going to go. I went with EG, and it didn't pay off. Ultimately, cost me a lot of points. I'd probably be like 97th percentile, 98 maybe, if I had gone with 5 PSG, LGD players. But I can't complain too much about 93.1. Is your game booted up yet?
No, it's still patching.
Okay.
My internet's being really weird tonight.
I'm going to go into predictions then, since...
I say, you don't want to see my fantasy anyways, so...
Yeah. So, generally, we didn't do as well as last year. We had the right logic.
We had good logic, but I think that, I mean...
There was a lot of
the way that things went, like, yeah.
The meta shook out in kind of a weird way that we weren't necessarily expecting. Or I shouldn't say the meta, because the meta was we kind of knew what we were getting into, but the actual hero picks didn't shake out the way we were thinking. Crystal Maiden was not the most picked hero. That was by far the most popular. Yeah, that was the most popular thing. Vengeful Spirit kind of came out of nowhere, and Tiny also kind of came out of nowhere to be really,
especially Tiny, because Tiny was so bad. I mean,
yeah,
look at that. I mean, neither of them crested 1% picked. But I mean, 0.07% of people thought picked Tiny. Like those are people that like had insider information or some shit. Probably watching some scrims.
And just then you've got really lucky.
Yeah, and then you got CM, all the way down at 10 at 27%. So, a lot of people were thinking the same thing we were.
Yep. Most banned, IO, as you can see, by far the most popular pick. Enchantress was the other one that was very popular, as you can see, 16.75%, 28. Logic was sound, didn't pan out. Also, not too
for Ench, we did kind of blow her off. Like, we could have given her a little bit more attention. And I know I at least personally kind of was like, no, it's got to be IO. It always is IO.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you can see just if you look here, 11 games. There's a lot of that's pretty close, all things considered. Broodmother, we were close, not quite there though. Venomancer, I mean, I imagine he was picked for like 10 games, 9 games, won most of them. Drow Ranger was kind of the big surprise there, because Drow towards the end ended up becoming like super popular.
Yeah,
we all talk about the TI, or not we, but all the higher profile pundits talk about the TI meta, and Drow ended up panning out well, and as you can see, won a lot of games.
Yep.
And also, as you can see, 0.07% of people picked Venomancer to get it. 0.39% picked Drow Ranger, so not a popular pick. Highest kill average, I don't know where Timbersaw.
Yeah, really.
Again, 0.04%. Not really the direction anybody was expecting it to go. Bounty Hunter didn't actually get 5 games.
Yeah, which sucked massively. I was convinced he was going to get 5 games.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be close, but I thought he'd get there. But yeah, we were probably going to be right if he got 5 games. And as you can see, not many of the heroes that actually people were expecting to make this category ended up getting it. Tusk was on top and he had 3.57%. Did anybody else even get close to that prediction? Oh, 34.7% for Zeus, which I don't know what people were thinking with Zeus. Like, I get the idea.
Everybody was talking about it. Oh, it's going to be Zeus. And it's like, no, it's not. It's never Zeus.
I mean, his aura, his passive, whatever the hell it's called, is E. Like, I get it, but if I was going to pick somebody based upon who's going to get assists by their aura, I would go with Necro, who again was not a great pick.
Oh, for the record, I was for highest win rate. Yeah, you had Brood Mama. I did have Arc Warden, so I was worse than you were.
We can go. Is your game booted?
My game is booted. So I was just saying, like, for that one.
I'll switch it over to your screen once I'm done going through mine. Morphling was our pick for lowest death average. This one kind of surprised me. Like, this is the most surprising turn for me was Medusa. Generally speaking, it's a carry. It's kind of a niche carry that has strong tools for escape. Yeah. And you can kind of see that with like Broodmother, Faceless Void, Weaver, to a lesser degree Templar Assassin, but Mirana. Like, these are the ones you would have gone for. And Medusa, Medusa is tanky, but that one actually surprised me.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that she got played. I'm not surprised that she did generally well, but I'm really surprised that she ended up winning this particular category.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, and the other thing is normally, like, if you see Dusa, like, she often has some really bad games.
Yeah, she kind of fell into the same niche as Morphling, where you got to have a couple items before you can really start to be effective. And yeah, evidently she got the items because lowest death average. We actually did pick Medusa for highest last hit average, and close, no cigar. Ended up going to Shadow Fiend. Again, that's kind of probably skewed based upon a few specific games that I can't think of.
You picked I picked Anti-Mage, and he didn't get 5 games played, so...
Really? Wow.
I don't think he did, because I didn't see him on the list. I'm going to check one more time.
Okay. But yeah, Meepo was our highest experience per minute pick. Didn't pan out because he didn't get 5 games late. If he did get those 5 games, would have probably dunked on everybody else, but he didn't. Ended up going to Timbersaw. Again, I'm really curious.
Get picked 5 games, and I mean, we both said he's not going to get a lot of games.
But yeah, to not get 5 is a surprise. Yeah. As you can see, only 76 characters actually got picked 5 times. Most kills in a game. Ended up going to Tiny. Again, Tiny was the big surprise of TI8 in terms of which heroes end up being popular. Like, last year was Pugna and Nyx Assassin. This year, boy, Tiny was super popular. And he was like a 30% pub win rate at one point, I think.
Yeah, he was hurting really bad on this patch. No, he was hurting a patch before, but he didn't get any buffs. So
he was hurting really recently.
Yeah.
And ended up just exploding in popularity with the pros for TI8. I don't know why, but there's a reason that they're pros and I'm not.
Well, so, I mean, you can also just see he got a lot of kills.
And yeah, and most last hits. I mean, we went with Anti-Mage.
Because we didn't think Tinker was going to get the 5 games or even really any good games, but all you need is 1 Tinker game.
Yep.
Actually, let me see if AM's even on this list. No, AM's not even in the top 20. That's embarrassing.
Well, I mean, there's
a
pretty small sample size. Okay, I'm going to switch it over to you so you can go over yours. We can all see you.
Yep, 1 second.
All right.
Cool. So, I went with Beastmaster. We kind of talked about why. Obviously, wrong. I mean, and as you guys can see, I got all of my hero predictions wrong. So, embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, my Weaver one was one of those ones where it was not a throwaway pick, but one of those gotta try something sort of out of the, who do I think could see 5 games, played, and do well. And
you're pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, see, where is Weaver on this list?
He's third,
Oh,
fourth.
fourth. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like I knew he's right on there somewhere, but
Yeah, he's right near the top.
he is. Weaver was point nine deaths away. So
Yeah,
if
just
literally like 2 deaths, if somebody died once less in 2 games as Weaver, we'd be fine.
yeah.
God, come on, TI, come on.
I kind of want to go into like Dota buff and find like specifically find a pro player to blame for this.
I'm down. Let's find a pro player who had a bad Weaver game. But yeah, so
Not actually though.
yeah, not actually tempting, but not that tempting. My PA again, I expected there to be a PA pop off game, but Homegirl did not do so well. Do we want to go to the next one while I'm here? These 2 teams.
Well, I'll go first since I again they were mostly picking based on my picks. Since our massive audience was these are the picks that were quote unquote official. So I gave you my rationale for all of these before. I kind of bagged on Windstrike in the last video, but they still ended up serving their purpose in this, but not for the specific categories we went for. LGD obviously didn't win. Pretty close. Didn't quite make it. OG ended up just stumbling their way into a win. Got it. Most kills, Windstrike. I know it was a popular pick, but I went with Virtus Pro.
Same here. Virtus Pro just did not show up.
They showed up okay for.
Towards the end, they stumbled and fell. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Highest kill average, Virtus Pro. Ended up being EG. EG did well, but I don't think anybody could have seen them doing this well.
Particularly in the kills department, I agree. Because we both said they'd probably place top 4.
Yeah.
Or we were feeling comfortable about that sort of thing. But we didn't
wasn't expecting them to be such like a slobber knockery aggressive team. I was expecting them to be more of a finesse team, but no, they did really well in this beat the shit out of people meta. Fewest deaths. Went with Windstrike. It ended up being Fnatic, which kind of a surprise, as you can see, based on the percentage of percentage of players that actually picked them. Not a popular pick, but
nope.
Yeah, I was expecting Windstrike to get one like 15-minute game where they just beat on somebody and they get like 1 or 2 deaths and that was it.
I mean, the fact that Liquid couldn't manage to kill Fnatic more than once is just embarrassing. So
yeah, that was a weird one. Most assists in a game. This one was a real surprise to me. Windstrike obviously won it. I went with Liquid. Liquid didn't end up being the crazy defensive powerhouse that I was expecting them to be.
Yep.
Like Liquid, like some teams are just really, really, really good in terms of defending high ground. And Liquid, I was expecting them to do better in that regard. And that's why I went with them for most assists in a game in the longest game. Didn't end up panning out. And I mean, Windstrike on the flip side is a generally really fast-paced team. So the fact that them and then IG made more sense for this category, but the fact that it's Windstrike kind of feels weird. But here we go. Here we are. I was expecting them to win. I was expecting their games to be much shorter. So the fact that they end up getting 194 assists, like I said, you can tell. You can look at this.
Those came from one game.
Yeah. IG made sense for that category because they had that slow-paced Chinese Dota style, or slower-paced Chinese Dota style, I should say. So them having that coming in second place, and then it's a pretty big drop-off for third. But yeah, weird that Windstrike ended up winning this. Longest game, Mineski won. Not really a huge surprise there. Still not a popular pick, but not a huge surprise. Like that Group B, once we actually saw it. Yeah. Team that wins the shortest game, OG. That was towards the end, wasn't it?
1659.
I feel like that was one like towards the end.
Yeah, that was one of their pop-off games.
Like against EG maybe or something. But either way, I wasn't expecting them to win many games at all. So, and as you can see, like as you can see, not many other people were. So that was kind of a surprise. Team with the highest game length average, we were close. We were very close with Fnatic. TNC ended up getting it. Not a popular pick. Like
2 more minutes.
Well, 2 more minutes for every game.
Yeah.
Well, 2 minutes and 20 seconds more for every game, which is a big ask. But I'm kind of surprised by that, honestly, because one, I was expecting TNC to lose a lot faster in a lot of games. But I guess their wins were long and dragged out enough to make up for it. Team that picks the most different heroes. This one was a real surprise to me. Like Team Secret getting it, like that is a surprise to me.
Well, I think the thing that surprised me is just like how far they did or did not get, and still having picked that many heroes is the point. Because like we talked about this in the other video about how where they placed was kind of disappointing and everything else, but the fact that they still managed to pick 58 different heroes is impressive.
Fifth, sixth is a good position.
Yeah, no, it's good, but we were thinking about them maybe doing a little better or at least looking better. But the fact that Team Secret managed to pull 58 heroes,
yeah, that's a lot.
Like Team Secret when they were at their peak, which is great. But again, I think that shows just how much everything spun up at TI.
Yeah, I honestly, Secret on the whole really exceeded all my expectations, but I don't know, I don't really think of them as the kind of super flexible, versatile team that would pick 58 different heroes in a 5th, 6th performance at TI. Just a really big surprise. I was expecting, as you saw, I was expecting Virtus Pro. They are a very flexible team, even though we kind of have this mentality of them being a smash mouth, go for the throat kind of team. But yeah. Finally, we were, fewest different heroes in a game, or fewest different heroes picked by a team. You want to go with a team you're expecting to wash out early. I was right in expecting Pain Gaming to wash out early, but it ended up going to TNC, which is kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, we can explain it away after the fact, but it's surprising.
Yeah. Random note is that Invictus Gaming, the other team that did wash out alongside Pain Gaming, ended up being middle of the pack.
It's almost, I wonder, I mean, like, we're purely speculation. I wonder if they tried too hard to branch out.
Yeah, maybe. I'd have to look back. I mean, it's really scattered in terms of like performance to, like, TNC washed out early, Serenity washed out early, Newbie washed out really early, VGJ Thunder washed out early, VG Gaming, nah, but EG, they only picked 39 and they, 3rd place. Mineski, it's interesting how that's distributed. I'll switch over to you now.
Oh, I was going to say I'm not necessarily worth showing, but okay.
If you want, we can skip that one for you.
Yeah, let's skip it because I had a lot of the same things.
All right, players. This one is the crap shootingest of the categories, honestly. Yep. But we ended up getting FY right. I accidentally put FY here, and I made a special 30-second video saying, "Hey, don't do that thing I said." So hopefully you guys didn't. Either way, I said to go with Ame, and that was wrong, just as wrong. But we had FY getting most assists, and pretty close. Miracle ended up being highest kill average. A little bit of a surprise, honestly. Like, you kind of expected the teams that really went far to be, exclusive to that, and I get it was kind of right. But Miracle in 1st place over Sumail and Somnus and hell, a Thompson, an Anna. Like, it's surprising that he was that high up the pecking order. A popular pick that we didn't get, but yeah, there it is. Somnus was my most kills in game. Sumail ended up having that epic tiny game that he lost, where he got 31 kills.
Yeah, and I regret, because I originally wanted to pick Sumail, but I let you. I mean, yes, I let you talk me into putting him, but Somnus made sense.
I mean, if I told you that Sumail was going to get a 31 kill game as Tiny and then lose, you probably wouldn't have believed me anyway. So
yeah, I wouldn't have believed you at all.
So Raven was the lowest death average and pretty darn close. Ended up losing to Rezo. Dota Buff in particular did a really great job pleading the case for Rezo and Raven both in these on the player picks as being the most like on paper best carries, and ended up panning out well, but didn't actually get him. But we were 0.1 off. Cut us some slack, man. Highest assist average, crit. Obviously, EG did spectacularly well. There was a lot of room for who you could pick here in terms of you wanted to go with support for a team that would do well. That's ultimately this entire lineup of players. You got Kuroki, Yapzor, Puppy, FY, Fly, Solo, GH, Crit. These are all support players that did well overall with their team. Ended up being Crit. We had the right logic, didn't have the right player. Highest last hit average. This one, Moon.
Nope.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, 0.06. I mean, 0.06%.
The first guy on this list that makes any sense is SCCC at third, followed by kind of FNK or H, whatever, how that goes, and then Rezo. But like, really?
Yeah. This is a head scratcher. This is a head scratcher. But
I mean, we see it now, but it's not something that I would have necessarily predicted.
And then Moon double dips here. Raven
because
again.
That insane tanker game that just pulled everything way up because of NP his low.
Yep. And I mean, again, Ame was the on paper smart pick. He was pretty close, but there's a lot of room for error when it's one game. And Moon got it, Raven got it again. Dota Buff did a great job of pleading the case for Raven and Rezo as being really good, and they didn't get it. XXS appears again in the wow, he really did better than we were expecting. Obviously, again, not a popular pick, but there it was. Highest GPM average. Rezo ended up really doing well when you look at it objectively, because 600 GPM on average is really good. Ended up going to Miracle. Very popular pick. We didn't go with him, but a lot of people did go with him, and it paid off. And finally, most different heroes. Ended up going mid one. That kind of goes hand in hand with my, wait, how did Team Secret do this well? Like Team Secret ended up going off the chain in a way that I wasn't expecting. And, mid one apparently played a lot of different heroes and did a pretty good job on the whole. Do you want to switch over to yours, or are we good?
I picked basically the same stuff. I mean, so I threw like Sumail instead of Ramses, et cetera. But yeah, it's
tournament. This is honestly where we crushed it. As you can see,
you crushed it. The things that I deviated on were the ones where I lost.
Okay, so if you're going to listen to me at all next year, listen to this one section and then click away. But yeah, not to pat myself on the back too hard, but I kind of crushed this.
Actually, I did better on the bottom half than you did, because I got most deaths compared 18 to 20, and you got 15 to 17. But again, right on the barrier. So
just in general, I wasn't expecting such a smash mouth, fast paced, lots of kills style of Dota. Like there were, I went with, which is pretty well demonstrated by me picking 91 to 100 here, and it being 146. Like that's a pretty big differential. So, but outside of that, in terms of the actual like how games play out and that kind of stuff, I crushed it. I specifically remember saying, on paper, this is a really, open, wide open, anybody can take it TI, but when push comes to shove, we're going to actually see a more defined hierarchy, and you got exactly that in the early stages of the main event. Lots of 2-0s, so many 2-0s. It took a long time for us to actually have a series go to 3 games, and that ultimately is exactly what I was expecting, and it panned out exactly that way, which is how I ended up getting here. This one was kind of a slam dunk. I can't brag too much about it. Like, it was absolutely going to be 101 plus. Of course it was. 91 to 100. You know, you can pick over 100, but I wasn't expecting that many to be banned, but pretty close. Went there. Went over this one. Longest game of the tournament. I mean, again, it was a faster paced style of Dota, and I kind of have to give credit to Valve, because a big topic when we first started doing this dumb podcast was like how Valve was really actively trying to shorten games, and they really have succeeded in doing that and keeping it a fun, authentic Dota style while still having games not frequently go an hour plus. Because, you know, we had, if you remember TI4, like the best of 5 grand final between Vici Gaming and Newbie had, I think 2 or 3 games and under 20 minutes. And, you know, those were fast games, but it wasn't really that fun to watch because it was basically pick Pugna, pick Keeper, pick all these hard pushing heroes and just run down a lane. And then run down the other lane, and then run down the other lane. This feels like good, you know, it feels like quote unquote Dota, but it's still a fast paced game that ends before 40 minutes more often than not.
I do want to cite something that we talked about last week, though, which is the fact that games are going to keep getting faster because pros keep getting better.
Yes.
Because they're getting better at exploiting smaller and smaller weaknesses. They're getting better at farming, everything else. So yeah, I mean, the fact that 81-52 game felt like a long ass game.
Yeah, and as opposed to last year, I think the main event actually started off with a Virtus Pro game that went like 2 hours.
Yep, and that one was exciting. Like, I remember that game, and it was like, oh yeah, it was 120 minutes, but it was, some of it was exciting. I'll put it that way.
Toby Wan casted it and did a spectacular job of making it feel exciting.
Fair.
But if you watched it without listening to it, it was, okay, Bloodseeker is using Blood Right to push back the lanes. And repeat that exact thing for an hour. Like I said, Toby One did a great job of making it feel like it was exciting, but it objectively was not. But we didn't get any of that. And yeah, the games that actually did go past an hour were just either really crazy, dumb, back and forth bullshit, or just felt like a slog. But either way, we're seeing games that are shorter feel like a slog because games are so much faster now. Shortest game of the tournament. I mean, it's this, and it's always going to be this. Am I right?
Yeah,
it's almost always going to be this.
There was like 2 games, but it's still like, I mean, yeah, that 15-minute window ain't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, probably. Asterisk probably. Most kills by a hero in a game. Again, Sumail's 31 kill tiny performance where he lost ends up blowing up a lot of these for a lot of people. And yeah, I ultimately went with that. This right here annoyed the shit out of me. This one right here annoyed the shit out of me even more.
I didn't get the second one. I got the first one. And then, but yeah, not getting that assist one was frustrating.
Yeah, the fact that I got back-to-back 2 off by 1, like, is like, that goes right up my butt. Like 18 when I picked 17 and 35 when I picked 36 is just like, ooh. Because if I got 9 out of 10, I could really brag about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was close. I wasn't so close. Or 8 out of 10, excuse me. But yeah. And this one, again, can't really brag too much about it. There's always going to be one really good Alchemist game or one really, really good Anti-Mage or some other carry game that's going to get 1,000 GPM. Like, you're gonna, unless Dota changes, you're going to see 1 or 2 of these 1,000+ GPM games. So, okay. Anything you want to show on your end, or we good to go?
No, just, you know, there were 3 games that had over 1K GPM: Jinkyu, CCNC, and XXS.
Yeah. So
There
bracket.
is not a highest GPM option under hero predictions, and I don't feel like going to Dota Buff right now, but I would be curious to see who they were.
Yes.
I'm willing to bet it wasn't actually Alk.
It's possible. I mean, I know last year it was Alchemist.
Well,
or
yeah,
not Alchemist. Last year it was Anti-Mage, not Alchemist.
That's true. AM did have that one game. But anyways,
anyway, on my bracket, I crushed it. Everybody, I hope you just fucking stole this, quote unquote, stole it. I hope you followed this exactly, because I got 10 levels for this shit. As you can see, I just
12.
I got 12 right. And that got you 10 levels.
I got 11. I'm so mad.
Ooh. Yeah, I got the entire upper half of the upper bracket right all the way through, including PSG LGD losing. I got EG. Obviously, OG blew up this end of the bracket, but I'm sure a lot of people got screwed over by that. The lower bracket, I had it really good. I ended up not getting 2 of these best of ones right, but I still got almost everybody right going through. VP, I picked them losing at the right time. I picked Secret again, exceeded my expectations, and OG made things a little bit dicey, but still ended up getting everything right down to PSG LGD, making it out of the losers bracket finals. Ended up getting 12 right. If you picked this spot by spot, bam, 10 levels for y'all. I hope you did it, because I did it. It felt amazing.
It sucks that I was literally 1 away and got half, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So that was all of our shit. I think on the whole did pretty well.
Yeah, I did okay. I definitely did worse, but I was also the one that was like, I should deviate from the obviously correct things in a couple spots.
I mean, you did better than the picking TNC to win the whole damn thing last year.
Hey, that was totally worth it, and I don't even care.
Nah, man. Yeah, but so that's how we did on the whole. Like I said, I think we did pretty well overall. Obviously, my bracket was the highlight of it, and the tournament page of the predictions also really good. And after that, it's always going to be a crapshoot. I think we ended up getting 7 total picks right, and I know last year that like the most that anybody got was 10. So we did about as well as you realistically could expect us to. Yeah. And again, if you have any issue with that, my fantasy picks and my bracket were good enough to make up for it. So on the whole, I'd say we were worth subscribing and liking and commenting to, and clicking the bell icon, and sharing. Sharing is caring, and you should do that for us. Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Not at all.
All right. So that's the end of this episode. Like, comment, subscribe. We lost a bunch of subscribers, by the way.
That's unfortunate, but hey,
it's
what? We got another year to make it up.
I mean, we still made progress.
YouTube's messing up, so I wouldn't be surprised if.
I mean, I'm wondering, people say that it's bugs. I never really believe that it's bugs. I think we lost a bunch of subscribers because I imagine people subscribed specifically for my day-to-day fantasy picks, and it's like, okay, TAI, it's overdone.
Sure.
Which, is your right. That's your right as a consumer of our crappy content. So, yeah, I still think we're worth following. I got to fly. Just decided to make an appearance. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, share to your friends. We're actually going to start doing I'm going to start putting this shit on other platforms, I think. This is news for you.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to apparently there's some kind of program where you can just upload your shit and then it'll handle all the other stuff for you.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Maybe we'll be on Podcast Addict or whatever the hell Google Homes used for their podcast distribution thing,
because you totally want to listen to us just throughout your entire house.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I listen to podcasts through the Google Home now. I like it. It's good. I prefer that, honestly, to listening to it through my laptop.
Oh no, totally. I totally agree that it's much better.
Yeah, like, and especially since we have an actual Google Home rather than the Google Home Mini, high quality speaker.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted a Google Home Max until I saw the price tag. It's like, nope, never mind.
Yeah, they are pricey. Like, but I'd say they're good, but I'm also kind of waiting for when the government figures out how to wire them, and then things start going all 1984 on us. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Click the bell, blah blah blah. Have a great week, everybody.